So now we're back with once more another double issue of Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith. I was prepared. I was originally going to make a video about issue number 14 before issue 15 came out. However, I wanted to keep myself in tip-top shape for what I had seen in Infinity War. Worth it. So when I found out that issue 15 came out, I decided, you know what, I'll just make a two-part video in this. A single video to talk about these two issues. We last left off wondering who was this surviving Jedi who knew who Vader was. It was always on the top of everyone's mind. I was speculating that maybe it could be Quinlan Voss. That was a popular theory. Hell, you could make safe that it would be in some way, shape, or form Barriss Offee. Like maybe she managed to escape and get some Jedi out, believing that she was right or whatnot. Like, I would have loved to Barriss Offee. This would have added an extra layer to see how far Vader would go just to get to her after everything that happened. No, but it wasn't. Instead, it was when we got the big, disturbing truth. This character, this mysterious figure, is a complete duplicate to Sis 18. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Yeah, here's the thing. I was like, what? When I found this out, because it was like, he looks exactly like Sis 18, the Jedi who got killed in Revenge of the Sith from standing still. And I was like, you couldn't come up with better design and whatnot? So yeah, I was ultimately disappointed. And then, like, oh, what's his name? At least that should be something interesting. His name is Bard. Okay, so... Okay, remember when Darth Maul remember how intimidating the name Darth Maul was for kids? And for fans alike, older people who were, like, intimidated? Like, when you think of Darth Maul, you think of the Sith who had a double-bladed lightsaber, who kicked ass and took names? Yeah. And then they cut out the term Darth and just left it with Maul, and then everyone just started laughing, saying, oh, hey Maul, you want to go to the mall? And whatnot, with horrible puns. Now, apparently, Disney is mandatoring that we make this guy named after a place where you could serve alcohol. But with an extra R. Oh, and don't make him look originally designed. Sis 18 duplicate. So, yeah, he has a bunch of people with him. Some are Jedi, as we will later find out, and some aren't. And we learn through some hacking thing that... Okay, here's the thing that can make me wondering something. This was the plot hole, like, yeah, the plot hole's collapsing in on itself now for me. They have recorded footage of Anakin leading the charge with the clones. They have evidence that this is a Sith. If the hacker they got managed to slice into the computers of the most protected place in the Jedi in the entire galaxy, aka the Jedi Temple, how did they not just I don't know, what would be the most rational thing? They could publish this, they could reveal this information. Like I said, this is where the plot starts to collapse in on itself for me on this part. Like, okay, Palpatine introduces Vader. But here's the problem I had with it. Why couldn't they just went with, he's a former Jedi who sided with me and destroyed the traitorous Jedi? But instead, you just make him look like he was a character that was never seen before. And now you have evidence. Now these Jedi and a Slicer managed to hack together exterior shots of the temple showing Anakin's march with the clones. And I'm wondering why the fuck did that nothing came up on that. In fact, that also leads to another question. Are all the clones that were in the temple when they attacked died? Because they had to know that was Anakin. They knew it was Anakin. So wait, did all the clones die in the temple attack? If so, then that was a wasted use of the 501st. Killing off the best legion of Vader's fist. So, yeah. I was just like, why don't you publish this? Like, Palpatine hasn't revealed that that he was a Jedi. In fact, it just makes the galaxy look more dumb by thinking, hey, he's using a red lightsaber. Wait a second. I think that was a Sith Lord. Because once again, I am still reminded by Battlefront 2's campaign. I've been wanting to talk about that, but I just never really got to it because I just had no interest in it, considering how it was hugely falsely advertised. But yeah, the whole they didn't know what a Sith was in 20 so years, even though that there's been thousands of years, at least from my interpretation, of Jedi and Sith dichotomy wars, crusades. How does no one remember any of this? Like, they did teach this in school, right? Or and say the Emperor did outlaw those books. Let's say the Emperor did outlaw all that. What's stopping the parents who did learn this stuff, who some might have experienced this stuff, who might be still alive if the war lasted? Okay, never mind. That's impossible due to age, unless you have those really unique species that can live for many, many centuries. Why don't they bring it up? Oh, wait. No, they can't, because that would mean they would have to admit that they made a huge error in this story. If they go ahead and bring up the fact that parents knew what a Sith was because of their ancestors telling them about it, then that would cause a contradiction to me. So, yeah. Also, considering that no one knew who Vader would be, yeah, these people are all gonna die, so really we have no care whatsoever. However, Master Bar is probably the most interesting character because he admits that, yeah, the Jedi were screwed up in the head. We really screwed up big time. We should have been more prepared. We should have not been blinded by our arrogance. Yes, I know people will say, well, Yoda talks about it. Well, except Master Bar is trying to do something. And what did Yoda do? Lie, manipulate, make out a huge plan, and in reality try to back out 20 years later by saying, I want to train later. I'd rather kill myself than train Luke because he's too much like his dad, but I'll train his daughter anyways, even though she's pissed off at the whole, I blew up her home planet and killed her adopted family. I really don't like Yoda nowadays. I'm so tempted to rant about him in a separate video. That might happen, I don't know, but yeah, I've basically given up on Yoda as a character. And the fact that he's kind of the cause of everything that's wrong in the sequel trilogy right now for them. Yeah. So, anyways, he might be training these Jedi because they're armed with guns. You know, that thing that they forbid, and look at Quinlan Voss like he's a freak of nature for daring to use a projectile weapon because there's no benefit to it. But yeah, anyways, I've went on this for long enough. But here's the thing. I was wondering, can we get context to who he is? Like, all we know is that he says Anakin was spectacular as a fighter. Can we get more context of how they met and whatnot? So, anyways, they decide to basically do something incredibly insane. Yeah, how do I explain this? Tarkin's on the military front, Vader's on the Jedi hunt. How do I explain this? Yeah. They destroy the city. Yeah, anyways, yeah, he kind of destroys the city, like, very, very much. So, yeah, also, it's revealed that the whole, destruction of the Envoy, yeah, it was, yeah, that wasn't caused by him. Instead, there's a possibility, okay, that just leaves Yeah. Okay, how do I explain this? I'm trying to know how to explain this, and there's just no tension for me for this character. He's gonna die. The fact that he knows who Vader is, it's guaranteed to end badly. Also, Vader is drowning underwater when they destroy the city, so yeah. So yeah, it's like really crazy of how they destroy the entire city. But I did like one sequence, though. We get a flashback of Padme and Ahsoka, along with Jar Jar Binks, but who cares? And that just makes me think, wow, legitimate character development emotions. It almost makes it feel like Vader's trying to be human still. Too bad they're going to negate that most likely at the end of the series. So, yeah, Vader is now drowning. We try to learn whether or not his armor is waterproof. It's not. It really isn't. Also, we get giant whales sent forth by the king to raise the surface and make the Imperial invasions much trickier, left tsunamis of the devastations in the wake, and send Vader tumbling into the depths of the Mon Cala Ocean. So he fights a giant squid in combat and uses a dying body to ride into the thick of the things. The staging of the... Like, okay, it's just so crazy. Yeah, Vader, whales are fighting, and they're not using hyperspace technology that's somehow embedded into their skin and somehow have the ability to make technobabble sounds. Like, we're seeing fish actually, use their abilities they do have and not something that was pulled out of their behinds. Oh god, I hate the space whales. And the giant octopus and squids. Yeah. Also, Vader uses a force bubble, I think. And Vader is pissed off when he gets rescued, like, you should have went after Master Bar. The mission does not need my requirement. Yeah, he claims he doesn't need rescue. Someone said that a little bit of Anakin kind of acts like Vader for a moment because he believes that I don't need rescuing unless we do it intentionally and then I need rescuing. But, yeah. Admiral Akbar, yeah, he's still around. So, too bad he gets killed off in Last Jedi in the most weirdest way, unceremoniously. So, yeah, apparently next issue, from what I've gathered, this is just mostly focusing on Vader and kicking ass and taking names and intimidating people. And also, the king has been, and they know he gave up the location of the Jedi's hideout and manages to warn Bar in the group. But we don't know that it will be too late to stop it. Oh, yeah, it's guaranteed. He knows, the Jedi know too much. But, yeah. The 14th issue, yeah, that just left me with a plot hole. 15th issue, it was cool. And, yeah, and... Okay, I'm just, wondering, I'm looking at reviews of this, yeah. I'm just trying to figure this part out. And I addressed this when I was talking about issue 14. Why in God's name do they just not use the footage as their evidence? The Jedi can hack into the systems, break in, and, I don't know. Or how about this? If they somehow managed to find an Imperial that had friends of those people that were choked out, they could go ahead, contact them, and offer to show this thing to the public just to reveal that, yes, Palpatine lied. He has a Jedi working for him. So unless Palpatine wants to admit the truth that this is a Sith, causing a huge mass riot because realizing that they've been taken over by the Sith and not by a Chancellor who took over as Emperor due to the panic and destruction that was happening at the time. So, yeah, do you not see the flaws in Palpatine's grand vision? Oh, God. Like, yeah, I know Palpatine in the Legends canon had luck on several occasions, but at least he had cunning planning and try to take advantage of situations that looked like it wasn't going in his favor, or you know, he had a contingency plan in the event of his death, which just clone himself and put his spirit in it. Yeah, that was Dark Empire, but still, like, honestly, Palpatine in Legends looked more cunning and more like taking advantage of opportunities. This Palpatine just survives off of luck, and everyone has to play the dumb card. So yeah, and also, I just don't know how this is operating. Oh, and also I read from the Wikipedia of the 2 issues. Apparently there was a dialogue issue where Tarkin addresses one current commander, and it's the wrong character. Did the editors really not notice the character name change from in between the same panel? Okay. So, yeah, I'm just left with these plot hole issue regarding Vader, Palpatine, all these variables that clearly should go wrong, but everyone has to be the dumb character in order to make this work. It's just... like, here's the thing. I wanted Vader to do what I wanted to hit Marvel when they made Vader to showcase his inner turmoil. I wanted this to be more of a character study for him, which on occasion we do get, but it just doesn't feel like... it feels few and far between for me. I want to see a character who's constantly struggling between his light and dark selves, trying to gain control, but as time goes on, we just see more of that light get snuffed out, but without any real breakout moment besides a questioning thing that I was wondering regarding, wait, so kyber crystals when bleeding could cause apocalyptic events? How did the Sith lose the entire time throughout their wars? Yeah, that still confuses me. How do the Sith lose if they can just go ahead, grab a bunch of members, put their hands in the kyber crystals, and start bleeding them, causing apocalyptic waves all over a planet? That still annoys me. So yeah, I'm just in this state of limbo-isham with these 2 issues. Like, the artwork's fantastic at points. I did love Vader kicking ass and taking names. And I did love how, yeah, he had to come up with some new force technique in order to survive, facing pressurization from the ocean. Oh, and now if only we can see Vader kill Purgle for no reason, mostly for my sick, twisted pleasure, just to see them eradicated onto the grounds that they are possibly the stupidest idea I've ever seen. But that's just my opinion. I'm not telling you you're wrong, even though the Purgles are possibly the dumbest idea since potential Mickey Mouse species-like creatures. And I seriously hope Disney does not make them do that. So, those were my thoughts on Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, issues 14 and 15. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate. Stay tuned for more.